Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. It's important for employers to take their employees' health concerns seriously and to not put them in situations where their health's at risk. It's good to hear that the owners of the smoothie shop apologized and took action to address the situation. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. My boyfriend gave himself an allergic reaction to get rid of his boss. When my boyfriend, Jake, was 19, he had a job at a smoothie shop. He worked with 3 other people and his boss. We'll call him Michael. Jake's one stipulation before getting his job was that he not work with peanut butter since he was allergic. He'll break out in hives, and if ingested, his throat will swell. Not bad enough for EpiPen, but bad enough to need Benadryl. At this job, they made protein balls, and it was made with peanut butter. One day, during a rush, Jake was at the sink when Michael threw a big bowl of leftover peanut butter in the sink and told Jake to wash it. Jake argued and told him he can't touch it and that he'll have a breakout. Michael argued with him and told him to do it, so Jake, being the stubborn B-turd he is, said, "Okay, fine." Roughly 5 minutes later, Jake's hands and arms were covered in hives. So once his arms had visible hives, he took a picture and sent it to the work group chat the owners were in, saying, "Can someone cover my shift? I'm a tad under the weather," with pictures of his hands. He walked out before anyone responded. Someone covered his shift, and the owners came in with the girl who covered the rest of his shift to yell at Michael. The next day, the girl told Jake about Michael getting chewed out by the owners. The owners called Jake and apologized for what happened. Long story short, that along with stealing money from the registers and being creepy with the high school girls, Michael was fired. Jake quit shortly after, just because. For people commenting that was stupid and allergic reactions get worse, yes, he's well aware. He was a spiteful teen with no sense of self-preservation, just pettiness. It's just a little possible death. The owners liked him and gave him an espresso machine when he left, so he says it was worth it. No, he wouldn't and won't do it again. And our second story. Choosy beggar wanted more free stuff. So we're moving house Saturday. It's very short notice for us, and we're just giving things away at this point. Lots of books, toys, old games, etc. Today we had 2 large boxes of just random bits and bobs. A lot of it is ornaments that I no longer want, and I was hoping it would all go to a good home. I get a phone call in the morning from a man wanting to come collect the boxes in the afternoon. I tell him, okay, sounds good. Now all this stuff is for free. We're also giving away a king-size bed frame and wardrobe too. Anyway, the guy comes, takes one look at the boxes, turns his nose up at me and says, "I don't really need this stuff." Like, it's free, dude. Just take it and sell it or give it to someone who will. He asks if I have anything else he can have instead, and I tell him the bed frame and wardrobe are still available. He didn't like the sound of either of those and went on his way. A few hours later, he phones me again. Now he wants the bed frame and wardrobe, but he wants me to dismantle the bed frame and take both to him free of charge, of course. I told him I didn't have a car, and he hung up on me. And our next story. When a disabled woman and a colorblind guy go shopping for flowers. Dramatis personae. Me, a mid-20s metalhead with long hair, a beard, combat boots, and a wardrobe that only contains band shirts and ripped jeans, also colorblind. WL, a mid-50s lady in shabby clothes and an electric wheelchair. Cashier, a effing hot girl. No big part in this story, but still. Story. As I was in full preparations to go to one of the biggest metal festivals in Europe, after making sure I had a tent, an air mattress, a sleeping bag, and of course a ticket, I realized that I still missed the most important thing. Beer. And lots of it. But since I'm a poor European student, I do not own a car, and there was no way I'd ever be able to go and get 24 liters of beer on my bicycle, but no worries. I know people who do own a car, and I was able to borrow one. So one day before leaving to the festival, I went to the grocery store, and lucky me, beer's on sale. So I'm not buying 24, but 36 liters. One can never have enough beer. And since I'm there, I also load up my cart with all kinds of snack foods. You know, 'cause festival food's expensive. So far, so good. And when I go to the cashier to pay for all of these glorious goods, the cashier, a really nice-looking blonde, is asking whether I'm having a party and looking at all the beer and snacks I'm buying. I get where she's coming from. And after telling her with my nicest smile that this isn't the case and why is she asking, she tells me that they're to offer a bouquet of flowers to everyone who's clearly doing party groceries, and would I like some flowers even if I wasn't throwing a party? Being the stupid idiot that I am, I tell her, no, I don't want any flowers. I don't like flowers. I'm a metalhead. I like things that are black. I like things that are dead. And I like things that say destruction. She looks startled, and me, realizing my mistake, stammered that I do not have a vase at home, so flowers would be useless. And her look of pure terror is still there, and I realize this is probably not the right time to ask for her phone number, so I pack my stuff in silence and quietly take my card away. After this, I just want to get the hell out of there, but I realize I still need to buy a crapload of cigarettes because I'm going away for almost a week, and they don't sell my brand on the festival I'm going to. So I walk to the service desk and see that there's a huge queue. In my country, the service desk is used for 3 things only: selling tobacco, selling flowers, and dealing with crappy customers. Which genius person ever thought this was a good combination? I don't know, but this is the way it is. So I get to the end of the queue and prepare to wait a crapload of time when I hear a voice behind me, "Wheelchair lady, excuse me." I don't care. I'm depressed because I just scared the crap out of this hot blonde cashier, and I'm in a queue from hell to get my cigarettes. WL. Meh, don't care. WL. Excuse me, you with the long hair. She talking to me? Takes a look over my shoulder. WL. Yeah, you. Can somebody finally come over here to help me? Me. What? WL. Yeah, I want to buy these flowers from the top shelf, but I can't reach them. Me. Huh? I turn fully around. She sees my Iron Maiden shirt. WL. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were an employee. And I finally realize that the shirt I'm wearing is black at the backside, and most employees are wearing black polos and jeans. However, she got the notion that a guy with hair almost to his butt waiting in a queue with a cart full of beer and snacks is working there. I'll never know. But I at least understood what was going on, and since I can be a nice guy from time to time, I decide to help her. This queue is going nowhere, and she looked so horrified about her mistake. Me. Never mind. Which flowers did you want? WL. The ones on the top shelf, the white ones, please. I might be colorblind, and I hate explaining that to other people, but I can do white, so I reach out and pass them to her. WL. Thank you so much, and would you also be so kind as to pass me the purple ones? Alarm bells. There's no difference between purple and blue. Purple's a lie. Take a random guess. Me. These ones? WL. No, I said the purple ones. Oh, F. Let's try the other kind of blue. WL. Yes, thank you. But wait, maybe I like the orange ones even more. Oh, F. WL. Could you please get them for me? There's a choice now. Admitting I'm colorblind or taking a wild guess because I really have no clue what the F orange looks like. And as I didn't want to make a fool out of myself again, I gave the only answer I could. Me. Nope. WL. Huh? Me. Sorry. WL. What? But. Me. Sorry, lady, I'm colorblind. And although I'm perfectly willing to help you, I have no clue at all which flowers are purple. At this point, she was just looking at me, completely blank. Then she looked at the flowers. Then at me. Then again at the flowers she couldn't reach. Then at me, who didn't know which flower she wanted. Then she just started laughing so effing hard she almost fell out of the wheelchair, and after a moment I understood how ridiculous this whole thing was. I also went in an uncontrollable fit of laughter. After we finished our laughing, we ended up playing a game of me pointing at a random flower and she telling me to go one to the left, another one to the left, and the one behind that one, and no, one back to the right. And yes, that's the one. When she finally had her orange flowers, I asked her if she wanted me to put the purple ones back, but oh no, my dear, that wouldn't be necessary. And thank you so much for your kind help. Me. Anything else I can do for you? WL. No, and thanks for all the trouble you took. So after having done my good deed for the month, I decided to go back to the queue for my cigarettes, and for once, karma worked in my favor. The line had cleared away, and the girl at the service desk had seen me help the wheelchaired lady and even threw in a free lighter. While I was packing the cigarettes in my bag, the wheelchaired lady paid for her orange, purple, and white flowers, and when I walked out, she told me to stop right there and gave me the purple ones as a thank you for all the kind help. I couldn't really refuse them after all what happened, but I'll never forget the look of pure confusion on the face of the hot blonde cashier girl when I walked out with some nice flowers in my hand after I told her I didn't want any flowers. Then I got home, realized I still don't have a vase, ended up putting the flowers in my biggest beer glass. And our last story. HOA doesn't like my truck. My dad bought a new truck back in the 70s that 30 years later became my first car. It was ugly as crap and beat to hell but ran okay, and because of its age was exempt from emissions testing, so it was legally registered and everything. I almost always parked it in the garage when not driving it to school and back, but had to park in the street for a couple of days while using the garage for other stuff. A week later, my parents got a letter from the HOA saying not to park outside because the truck was unsightly and brought down the neighborhood's value. We ignored it, of course, because they couldn't legally do anything about it. We saw the HOA president drive by our house multiple times taking pictures in her fancy new Range Rover, and we get letters anytime it sat outside for more than a day. I did what any other sane person in my situation would do and started parking in the street every day. Although most of our neighbors were rich snobs and looked down on my parents for not buying me a brand new car, they never complained about my parking because they all hated the HOA Nazi too and knew it pissed her off. She was recently voted out of the HOA and everyone's happier. I still have and love the truck and would never get rid of it. It's been a part of the family for longer than I have. I occasionally take it to my parents' house to visit just for old time's sake. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.